Yeah, in case you're wondering, I don't drink alcohol, but I had to get my energy up. So yeah, Children of the Corn. This is the 11th attempts to make one of these movies, and you really think this franchise is starting to wear thin? Possessed by a spirit in a dying cornfield, 12-year-old Eden recruits the other children in her small town in Nebraska to rise up and take control. See, they're tired of having to pay the price for their parents' mistakes, so Eden leads the kids on a bloody rampage, killing all the adults and anyone who opposes her. That sounds like a movie I've seen before, but I just can't quite put my finger on it. Joking aside, this is the Arrow Video version of Children of the Corn also. Whoop-de-doo. So I've mentioned in past videos that growing up, my dad would basically sit me and my brother down and we would watch his scary movie of the week. It was always Scary Movie Friday at my household. And that's how I grew to love scary movies. And you know what? To this very day, I love them. I'll probably love them till my last breath on this earth. One of the many movies that my dad showed us was this right here, Children of the Corn from 1984. The only one that exists in my book. If you've never seen it, it's got Linda Hamilton, I believe before she ever did Terminator. If not, it was right around the time that the first Terminator came out. But man, this really freaks me the f*** out when I was younger. He wants you too, Malachi. Yeah, Isaac in that movie, played by John Franklin, nightmare-inducing when I was like 12 years old. My God. And every other Children of the Corn movie that's followed it hasn't quite lived up to that fun. Because if you look back and watch that movie overall, it's not great, but at the same time, you can't help but have fun watching it. Just because you see all the youngsters in there just throwing their freaking all into everything they put into it. And I mentioned that their cult leader, Isaac, was the best part of that original movie. This new version, the young actress, I would say, is the best part of the movie also. You can clearly tell she's a trained actress. That's about all I can give it. This one is really bad, people. Now, the director was definitely attempting something different here, just in the makeup of this group of kids. And just in the makeup of their leader also. This bloated screenplay for 93 minutes really tries to cram a lot into the backstory of why these kids go to kill their parents. But do we really need all that backstory? Because that's about half the movie, and it's just boring for a good chunk of it. Because when you look at the original kids, and you look at how quickly they just go to town on these people inside a diner, like, you immediately know what they're all about. You take one look at their leader, you immediately know what his motivation is. And that's all you really need. This version really does not seem to understand that the key is simplicity with this story. It's based off of a Stephen King short story, for crying out loud. Like, you don't need all this backstory. Because golly, even when they do start killing off the adults, the kills aren't really all that remarkable. And I swear, I've seen them kill off this big crop of people in better ways in many different forms of media. Seriously, so lame. Tried and tested, I've seen it before. Which brings me to the rest of the acting, which unfortunately, aside from our lead Eden, not really a whole lot to go off of here. And that includes our heroic teenager in this crop, which honestly, like, I mean, bless her heart. I'm sure she was doing her best. I think this is more so on the fault of the screenplay and the direction, but I just could not root for this character in any way. Because this is a teenager who's looking to go to Boston for school and everything like that. Abandon the small town life. But then when these kids just decide to call bloody murder on everything, like... Oh my God, guys, this made me so mad. Like, I don't want to spoil anything for you guys, but a good majority of this movie just sees this hero go, And a good chunk of her dialogue is just basically telling this little girl, Eden, why she shouldn't be doing these things. Good Lord. Again, not the fault of the actress at all, but it's more so on the fault of the direction and the screenwriting here. Because there's no, like, redeemable qualities about this person. Everything about this movie had dropped the ball up and leading to the big finale and the resolution. First part is boring. The kills are pretty unremarkable. But then once He Who Walks is introduced, it's like... Yep, that's it right there. That's what I was waiting for the whole time. Like, I understand the facts that He Who Walks was pretty unremarkable in the 80s version as well. The effects really weren't all there once it's revealed what He Who Walks actually looks like. We actually never see He Who Walks in the frame until the cornfield blows up in the original. This version, you actually see He Who Walks roaming about the cornfield, and it's like, oh man, have any of you ever seen the movie A Monster Calls? Great movie. If the people who are behind those visual effects were watching this, like, I'm sure they would have been laughing their asses off, because this thing's design is just so ridiculous and asinine. And that was just the start, and it was all downhill from there. The third act and the finale of Children of the Corn 2023, complete and total disaster. The resolution completely drawn out. You could have done it in like 5 minutes. They draw it out to like 20 minutes or so. The CGI, not just on He Who Walks, but the fire everywhere looks completely fake and completely Windows Movie Maker. And all of this leads to one of the dumbest endings I think I've ever seen. All in all, guys, this is a really, really bad horror movie. Definitely amongst the worst of the Children of the Corn, I would say. I think we're done trying to replicate the magic that was brought to you in the mid-80s when the first Children of the Corn came out. I don't even know if I'd call it magic necessarily, because that first movie really wasn't even all that great. Yeah, if you see this movie on Shudder or anything like that, I would highly recommend passing. I'm gonna give Children of the Corn 2023 a big fat fucking F. God, second year in a row a bad Stephen King adaptation has pissed me off this much. Good lord, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. This was really cathartic for me. I really hope it was cathartic for all of you as well. Let me know what you thought of this stinker down in the comments section below. And let me know what your favorite Stephen King adaptation of all time is, just to make me feel a little bit better. If you're new, hit that subscribe button as well. That would also make me feel tremendously better. Hit that thumbs up on your way out if you enjoyed what you saw. Guys, y'all are the best. Thank you so much for clicking on this thumbnail. And look forward to more reviews of hopefully better movies coming out very, very soon. Looking to watch John Wick 4 tomorrow. Definitely looking forward to checking that out. I'll also be seeing Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves before I leave next week for WrestleMania. And I want to try and knock out another Pirates entry or two before I go on vacation as well. So guys, lots to look forward to. Y'all are the best. And with all that being said, Back Talk, commence!